This tree, unfortunately, was planted too close to my wall. This is a retainer wall that I have here in my backyard, and it has been constantly rubbing up against my retainer wall to the point of it losing at least 50% of its bark. You see the damage that it has done to the bark. Yep, that's not pretty. It's kind of sad. But since this is a valuable tree and many people love to grow this special variety of fig tree, I'm going to save this whole branch and turn it into its own unique, beautiful tree. See it? Yeah, it's pretty ugly, guys. It's pretty ugly. I feel bad for this tree. I apologize. But hey, I'm going to fix you soon and you'll be healthy. You will no longer have to suffer. The world is already a cold, cruel place. Why should a fig tree have to suffer, right? That's what I'm saying. Look at that. Basking in its glorious, abundant, and fruitful life. I wanted to share and record the tree that I will be air layering today. This is the famous Tiger Panache or Panache. This tree produces figs that are striped yellow from the outside with green stripes. It's a beautiful fig indeed. This is the damaged tree from the top. As you can see, these leaves are yellow and they look very lanky. They look like they're wilting actually. Not enough nutrients are being sent to this branch. So that means that this branch is definitely suffering. You can see some figs here and there, but they're pretty small. They look like little green peppermint candies. So this is where the growing gets good. Congratulations, you made it to the most exciting part of this whole video. I'm about to share with you the garden secrets that nobody else has done before or shared on this YouTube platform in the past. Now, I'm just messing with you. You can find hundreds of other YouTube videos that do it like me, but do they grow in the desert? Who knows? But this is all for all my desert dwellers and people who decide to live in such a place like Las Vegas. It's pretty windy right now. You see it rubbing up against the cinder block here, right? Back and forth in the wind, suffering. If I would have waited a little longer, this branch would have been completely broken off. All right, everybody. So this is what you will need to begin air layering any tree that you can possibly think of. Keep in mind, I have chosen to use the most efficient and cheapest way possible so you can start for beginners. You can go as expensive or you can go as cheap as you want to. To get the ball rolling, this is what I recommend. Get yourself a big bag of peat moss. This one, I got it at Lowe's. Hopefully you already have some fruit trees planted in your land, in your backyard. Some favorable fruit trees, whether they be mulberry, citrus, or pomegranate. Anything that grows in this desert can be air layered. Using a few inexpensive things that I have here that you see right now in front of you. The most expensive thing will be the peat moss, and the cheapest things would be the aluminum foil, sandwich bags, and zip ties purchased at any 99-cent store. Keep in mind, I have chosen to share the most efficient and cheap way that you can begin air layering. You can go as expensive as you want to or the cheapest methods. So we start with the peat moss, water, filtered water preferably. You want to make sure that it has no contaminants in the water because you don't want any mold to gather inside your air layer bags. You need trowel, zip ties, sandwich bags, any size, but I choose the sandwich bags. If you want a bigger air layer, if you have a bigger trunk, bigger tree, go for a bigger bag. You can go up to a gallon even. Aluminum foil and rooting powder. Now, many people choose not to use rooting powder in their air layers, but if I'm going to go through all this effort to try to clone a tree, why wouldn't I use a rooting powder? So I highly suggest it, but you don't even need it. For all you organic gardeners out there, all you health conscious people, you can skip the rooting powder and you can use aloe vera or willow bark tea to encourage root growth. Any clippers to trim any leaves that you may not need or leaves that may get in your way. And most importantly is a really sharp garden or grafting knife. It has to be very sharp because you want to be able to make precise cuts and you want to be able to get the right precise cuts. I always go with Felco because these are quality tools that you can acquire. You know, think of a video game. When you are starting in a video game, you start out with the cheapest tools with the level 1 to level 5, but this is a level 99 grafting knife. For any of you that are looking for the most efficient knife and really want to step your grafting and gardening and air layering game up, I highly suggest you go with Felco. This investment is worth it because these tools last for years. So many years that you can hand them down to your children. This is all you need to start beginning your air layer. So let's commence, shall we? What is peat moss, you may ask? Well, this is decomposed moss from wetlands in Canada. Now, I know there's a lot of eco-friendly, eco-conscious people out there that prefer to use coconut coir, but I've had really good results using peat moss because why? It absorbs 20% of its volume, 20% water retention. So that ensures that you're able to keep your air layer bag moist at all times. This is a perfect environment for trees and branches to start and begin their roots. So I use peat moss and I highly recommend peat moss. You can use something else, but why change it if it works for me, right? So I have used my trowel to put peat moss in that filtered bucket of water. You have to use your hands, you know, don't be afraid of getting your fingernails dirty because after all, that's where the health benefits come from when it comes to gardening, right? You want to make sure that it's completely moist, soaked. You want to make sure that it's completely soaked all the way around. Keep in mind, this bucket doesn't have any holes. It doesn't have any drainage holes. So that's why I like to use them. And when you start to get to expert level gardening, honestly, you won't even need holes in your containers. But there will be more information regarding that in the near future. If you stick around, keep following my videos. I have so many things to share. I'm so excited because truly it's a beautiful thing to be able to know how to garden and be able to have this knowledge in your noggin to share with all you beginning and expert level gardeners. So yes, the goal is to simply soak the peat moss in your filtered water to the point that it's completely wet. You see how water still comes out of the peat moss? Continue to add more until water stops coming out of the peat moss. It's hard work. It ain't much, but it's worth it, right? Gardening, farming, it ain't much, but it's honest work, baby. Keep going. You're getting a good forearm workout here. Excuse the moving camera. I'm trying to do it with one hand and stir with the other hand. I think we've achieved our result. The peat moss is definitely wet. When I squish it, no more water comes out, but it is indeed moist. So let's get growing now, shall we? Now here is a result. We have moist peat moss inside a sandwich bag, right? Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought you can use a sandwich bag to grow and clone your own fruit trees? You have to make sure that you're able to close it, seal it completely, and you can see inside there's moisture in the bag. If you have a little one in your family, a teenager that is bored, you can have them stuff these bags for you. Before you know it, you'll have hundreds of them. Next, you will take that bag full of peat moss and slice it horizontally. Slowly. Only the middle. Try not to get too close to the edges. Leave about ½ inch of space in the edges. You will make a slit, and this slit is where the bark is going to be. Sort of like that. Like a happy, like a smiley face. A mouth. Now, if you were to just put eyes, it would actually be a peat moss happy face. You get the gist of it. Okay, this is where you get up close and personal with the tree itself. First of all, you ask the tree for permission. Let it know that you're here to help it suffer no more, right? Let it know of your intentions to clone and that you're simply here to help it multiply its genetics, multiply its species, right? So, tree, I am here to help you multiply your species, multiply your genetics, because I love this variety and I appreciate all you do for me in providing shade and providing fruits so me and my family can eat. Now, you make sure you grab your 2 zip ties, your sandwich bag full with moist peat moss, and your rooting powder. So, I'm going to move these out of the way so they're not in the way. Next, you grab your grafting knife. What you're going to do is simply cut off the outer layer of the bark of your tree. We're going to scratch off the cambium layer. So it goes outer bark, the inside where all the water and the nutrition travels, which is called the cambium layer. I'm going to grab it. This is where the damage starts. Lightly press in. And I'm going to go up here. This is where the damage ends. Lightly press in. You're going to go around slowly. Now, there's no perfect way of doing this. There is a lot of professionals out there, but I simply do it to the best of my abilities, right? That's what we have to do. We have to do things to the best of your ability. And don't worry, thankfully, Mother Nature is lenient with us when it comes to doing such things. So once you've gone around once, you will see the fig sap starting to run. Why? Because this tree is awake. You know, it is actively growing. It is in season, and all the nutrients, all the lifeblood of the tree is traveling through its cells. Now, this bark is pretty caustic. I recommend you treat it with caution. I honestly need a napkin, but I will just use my fingers to wipe it off. Now, keep in mind, I washed my hands and they are clean. Yes, if you want to be a neat freak and if you want to be careful of everything that you're doing, constantly disinfect your hands and disinfect your knife. But me, I like to freestyle things, and I'm pretty confident that this bark, this tree, will root. So I'm going to do the same thing here. We'll go around where the damage starts. Basically, you're choking out the nutrients. You're choking out the flow of sap, the flow of energy from the tree. This is the mother tree, and this is your new tree. This will be your air layer, your exact clone and replica of this tree, right? Once you've gone around, since this side is already completely gone, is literally down to the woody bark, we're going to use this side to remove the cambium. Once you've done a whole circle here and a whole circle there around the circumference of the bark, you're going to simply take your grafting knife and cut vertically. I went a little too far, but that's all right. This knife is extremely sharp. This will eventually heal. No worries at all. I'm going to do it once more. Now what I'm going to start doing is you're going to simply take your grafting knife and you're going to remove the outer layer of the bark. And you can use your grafting knife, or if you have long, strong nails like I do, you can use your nails, right? Start peeling the outer bark away. Peel it away completely. See how I'm peeling it away? Now it may take some more effort if the tree is older and more mature, but use your grafting knife. Try not to get so much of the woody bark, try to get the outer layer of it. Now this is also a time-consuming part, but you'll see that the results will be well worth it. Removing it little by little. I'm going to speed this part forward. You can see. You see how you're peeling the bark away? Look where it stops. Right there. Now, usually I don't make this big of a cut. Usually it's about 1 inch to 2 inches. But since this is already damaged, I'm just going to go ahead and do all of it. You have to peel the outer layer like if you're peeling a sweet potato. I love sweet potatoes. Now, if you encounter a node, it might be a little hard for you to cut through that node. But I suggest you completely get rid of it. Completely get rid of the outer layer, the outer skin. So this side is completely done. Now I'm going to go to this side. Hopefully you can see it in the video. Let me try to use my nail. Okay. See how it comes off really easily? Well, that's the outer skin. That's the outer layer, the cambium layer, where all the nutrients and saps gather. There's nothing wrong with you removing the cambium layer around a node. Nothing wrong at all. So next, you're going to scrape any excess fiber, any excess layer. Now this is the woody bark. This is the structure of the tree. We're basically disconnecting this branch from the mother tree. Okay? Now your knife might get sticky and gooey, but it's okay. We can always wash it with some soap and rub a little bit of oil on it to get rid of the goo. We're going to continue to gently scrape. Once you've completely removed any excess cambium, any layer, any cells that are left over, you're going to clean it up nicely, right? This is where the magic happens. Okay? This is how it should end up. Like so. I'm going to zoom it in. See the camera? Once this is set up, once you've completely removed the cambium layer and see only the exposed bark, you're going to grab your Ziploc bag full of peat moss and your zip ties. Also, remember to use your rooting powder. Now the professionals use a brush. I don't have a brush, so I'm going to use a brush Mother Nature gave me, the Creator gave me, which is my finger. Make sure to close your mouth. Preferably use a mask for this. Don't try this at home. Try not to breathe it in. Rub it all around. In all reality, the roots won't form on the bark, but I still like to get it all covered. The roots will form right here, right where the cambium layer starts on this new trunk. This is where the roots are going to form. Now, some people like to scab, they like to damage, they like to score the bark, but I don't do that. I just simply add rooting powder. Whew! Like to add rooting powder there and rooting powder here by where the mother tree is. Oh man, I got it all over me. I'm recording against the wind here. Not recommended, but hey, getting it done, making it happen. You get the gist of it. Come on now, you don't overcomplicate things. Life is already complicated, right? You think a little bit of rooting powder is gonna hurt me? Nah, come on. Okay. Now you're going to grab your bag of peat moss. You're going to basically lay it over the slit. Okay. I like to do it. You can do it either way you want it to be, but I like to do it where the bag can sit over the branch, sort of like this. Okay. Now you have to make sure that the bag sits over the branch where the cambium layer starts and begins, like this. Okay. You're gonna grab it. You're gonna fold it like a taco, like a burrito, whatever you want to call it. You will hear the water and you will see the water drip. Hopefully you can see the water drip. You want to drip out all the water that you can get from out of there. The good thing about peat moss is that it is sterile, so you won't grow any mold or any nasty bacteria inside. That's why it's important that you use clean filtered water. Once that's done, you're going to grab your zip ties, zip tie the top to hold it in place. You got to zip tie it tight. I'm talking about really tight, super tight, so the bag does not shift during these next 2 months that you will have it on the tree. You can use as many zip ties as you want. Usually I use 2, but for the purpose of this video, I will use 3. I need to go get another zip tie. 1 second. Oh, it feels good out here. It really, truly does. Grabbing one more zip tie for the middle. Here we are. Now the middle one shouldn't be that tight. Use your cutters to cut out the excess zip ties, the ends of the zip ties. You don't want too much zip tie remaining. And there you have it. This is an air layer. As you can see, it will root in the air, basically hovering. What we're going to do is disconnect the branch, our new tree, from the mother tree. It is rooting in the air. That is one of the reasons that it is called an air layer. This is the most efficient, most basic method that you can possibly use to start cloning your own fruit trees with peat moss. This is moist and it will remain moist for the next month or so. If it is not moist within a month, what I like to do is get any type of syringe and simply poke it and add water to the peat moss to rehydrate it. As you can see, it's still dripping, so it's pretty hydrated. It's pretty hydrated. Next, what you're going to do is grab that aluminum foil. Where did I leave it? Here it is. Now, this is really cheap aluminum foil that I got from the dollar store. No need to get fancy with it. The reason we use aluminum foil is for its reflective qualities, so it can reflect the sun, so the sun doesn't dry up our peat moss. Now, if I can only find the beginning of it. This aluminum foil is unfortunately giving me a hard time. Come on now. The reason we use aluminum foil is for its reflective qualities, to reflect the harsh Vegas sun from the air layer. Anyways, it's giving me a tough time. If you use better aluminum foil, not the cheap kind, it might be better. Now, for those of you that don't know, the aluminum foil has 2 sides, the shiny side and the dull side. I'm going to be using the shiny side in this part. Just going to grab the foil and completely wrap it up like a Christmas gift. You're going to wrap it up like a party cracker. To all my UK fans out there, you know what a party cracker is. Wrap it up, get more foil. If I would have known, I would have purchased the more expensive foil and stop being a cheap bastard. Maybe once I get more followers, I can be able to afford a more expensive foil. Nah, I'm just messing with you guys. So just wrap it up. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be proper. Continue to wrap it up like such. And there you have it. A completed air layer. Now there's one thing I forgot to mention, which is your marker, permanent marker, preferably your Sharpie, and write the date. So theoretically, I would write the date today, which is May 26th, 2026. If you're a beginner, hopefully this method completely makes your life easier and helps you clone your favorite trees that you truly love. If you have a family member with a very special tree that has been in the family for generations, this is a special method that you can use to ensure you pass down that exact genetic of any tree. This way, it will be in your family for years and generations to come. So I added some soft string to tie the tree together. That way, the air layer does not touch the cinder block. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. As we all know, nobody's perfect in this world, but I like to simplify methods. I like to be straight up and let everybody know that gardening doesn't have to be perfect. What matters is that you start. Begin now, begin today. Start cloning your own fruit trees. You have no idea of how much more of the younger generation we need to start growing today. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, today. Any of you youngins out there watching, instead of scrolling on TikTok, wasting your time with brain rots, learn a skill that is needed now, that has always been needed on the face of this earth. In the past, it is now needed in the present for the future. Peace. Thank you for watching. Make sure to follow, subscribe, and if this helped you, let me know how much it helped you in the comments below. Thank you. Peace. Well, here is the result from trimming the tree, the air layers. You see, these branches would have gone dormant if I had left them on the tree, and I would have just trimmed it and possibly disposed of them, discarded them, or turned them into cuttings. But that is time consuming. An easier method is just to simply air layer your trees. You can see it's pretty big, it's heavy. Here's how it looks from the bottom. You can see there that I took the cut. Just beautiful. I'm so impressed. This babies will go in a 5-gallon pot, and next year it will fruit, produce some sweet berries for me, and will go into the ground. Here's one. Here is two. This one's a little smaller. Here is three. These are all about 1.5, 2 feet tall. And this is the fourth one, the smallest one. Would you look at that? Look at all those roots. This one in particular was starting to dry out. The peat moss inside was starting to dry out. So what I'm about to do is put them in this bucket here, fill it up with water, maybe even add some fish emulsion or add some kelp so they can hydrate. And before I pot them, I'm gonna let them sit there for maybe 24 hours so they can drink up. And then I'm going to plant them in 5-gallon pots in pure sand and peat moss. So next year they will be ready. Beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. And I encourage you to go out there and produce your own fig trees from air layers. Peace. This can happen in 2 months.